Angel Reese doesn't like Caitlin Clark. Go back to when she won a national title. She didn't celebrate with her teammates. She mocked Caitlin Clark. So there's jealousy there. I certainly see that with her. I don't know about the league.
Did you see what Ann Patrick just said about Angel Reese? He labeled her jealous of Caitlin Clark's influence on the WNBA and criticized Ray's assertion that fans are following her rather than Clark. Why are these two of the top names in women's basketball at odds? While some questioned why not Angel Reese, Patrick did more than just level charges. He also presented receipts and pointed out the cover of Clark's Time magazine.
By this, but there's nothing wrong with admitting that you watch a sport because of one singular person. People watched golf because of Tiger.
The response reveals more about women's sports recognition. Like Gretzky impacted hockey, Clark changed the WNBA scene. But this dispute may be a reflection of something deeper about renown recognition and the evolving nature of women's basketball.
I do think that she's benefited. The WNBA has benefited from Caitlin Clark and the publicity. She's the one who has to answer these questions, though, after.
While everyone is talking about the Caitlin Clark effect on viewership, Patrick focused on something that revealed Reese's own statements. Regarding the WNBA's growing popularity, Reese presents an alternative story, asserting that she is truly to blame for the increased ratings and new fans.
Basketball, people are pulling up to games, we got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.
When reporters questioned Patrick about Clark breaking attendance records during a recent post-game interview, Patrick pointed out that Reed purposefully attempts to minimize Clark's impact on the league. Patrick's analysis is compelling because he saw through this facade like a detective identifying contradictions in a witness statement. Reed immediately shifted the conversation to her own impact, which Patrick recognized as a deliberate trend.
Now, you can't factor in that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese don't have a good relationship, and Angel Reese has mocked Caitlin Clark, has roughed up Caitlin Clark a couple of times.
Patrick's method of breaking it down refines it difficult to accept that Clark is changing the WNBA environment. Take into account the data that when Clark joins the league, venues sell out, television ratings soar, and media coverage soars. This reality puts someone in a difficult position to represent the league.
But make no mistake about it, Caitlin Clark is the reason why everybody has an opinion on what happened in that game. It's Caitlin Clark.
This is not an isolated incident. Following a sold-out game in Chicago, Patrick cited several occasions in which Reed tried to take credit for the WNBA's development moments. Reclaimed that her social media following was the reason for the increase in attendance. Even though statistics indicated that ticket sales had skyrocketed following Clark's draft announcement. Every move in this rivalry is like a chess game, with Reese strategically placing herself to offset Clark's natural popularity.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese. Angel Reese has played a role in this, and she's a very good player. But there's nothing about her game that's really interesting that is going to translate to people who may not watch the WNBA, may not care about basketball. She is a social media star, and she is capitalized on.
Clark lets her basketball prowess speak for itself, but Patrick characterized Reese as a social media celebrity playing a calculated game. According to Patrick, Reese uses social media to her advantage, creating controversy to stay relevant. She understands that maintaining this rivalry enhances her brand.
Here, Angel Reese stays in the news. If Angel Reese was going into the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, no one would care. She'd be like, oh, okay, that woman's really good on the offensive boards. I mean, that's really what she...
Reese understands that Clark's innate ability to draw fans with outstanding basketball is special, which is why Patrick finds it intriguing that Reese has deliberately chosen to play the villain in order to contrast with Clark's image while maintaining both players in the spotlight.
But I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. She thinks she's, the reason why this is all happening here. Caitlin Clark was going to get eyeballs whether she played against Angel Reese in LSU or not, because we had not seen anything like this before.
Patrick's jealousy is rooted in the fundamental truth that Clark doesn't need manufactured drama to be a star. Her game speaks for itself. Rhea has established her platform through her carefully manicured persona, and this rivalry proves her talent. But Patrick implies her route to stardom calls for different strategies than Clark's obvious basketball appeal.
Caitlin got all of this exposure. She's getting endorsements because she's unique. It's like Steph Curry's unique, Tiger Woods' unique. Not everybody gets it just because, hey, I put in 10 years in the WNBA or the PGA Tour or the NBA. It doesn't work that way. It's supply and demand. Do they want to buy your shoes or do they not? Do they want to play your basketball? Do they want to play with a Wilson? I mean, that's what this is about.
Patrick's justification of Angel Reese and Draymond Green exposed a much more calculating aspect to Reese's WNBA career strategy. Patrick revealed what he believes to be a calculated tactic. Reese is attempting to become the NBA's most infamous provocator for women's basketball, just like Draymond Green did when he established his reputation through controversy. On the hardwood, Reese seems to adopt this tactic, which prioritizes controversy-based brand promotion over playing style.
Angel Reese wants to be Draymond Green. She's more Dylan Brooks. Like, she's trying to be an instigator. She goes out of her way to criticize Caitlin Clark. So if you factor all of this in, that's when people have opinions that aren't basketball related.
Patrick called out Reed directly as an instigator who is purposefully creating a villain persona in the women's game. According to Patrick, Reed is following exactly the same blueprint, using Clark as her main target as proof. Draymond Green has built his entire brand around being the bad guy, the enforcer, and the one who gets under her opponent's skin. Patrick cited certain on-court instances that illustrate this trend, citing a play in which Reese seemed to strike Clark in the head during what he said was a block attempt. According to Patrick, Reese's attempt to block the shot resulted in her striking Caitlin Clark in the head or across her face, which is consistent with a history of physical intimidation techniques directed exclusively at Clark.
Yep, across the head, and they will go to the monitor to review this one.
Similar to how Green has perfected the art of power play that urges on going. Similar to how Green has perfected the art of going too far, Patrick presents these acts as planned maneuvers meant to elicit reactions and create headlines. Reuses the same strategy in her interactions with Clark, seeking to get as much attention as possible with the fewest possible repercussions.
So she's sort of embraced a Draymond Green role here. But the eyeballs on the WNBA really have to do with Caitlin Clark.
Patrick's analysis of Reese's motivation for using the strategy makes the strategic element more apparent. This antagonistic role is a professional decision. Green is more marketable than many athletes with comparable or superior stats because of his contentious nature. His career has greatly profited from his desire to be the heel, which has led to endorsement deals and media opportunities. By putting herself in the role of Clark's antagonist, Reese seizes the same chance and ensures her spot in any discussion about the emerging star of women's basketball. This is a market positioning tactic in a league where attention directly leads to opportunity.
Face the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well. She is cashed in, literally cashed in. But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark.
However, there are advantages and disadvantages to playing the villain. Even though it could garner notice right away, it runs the risk of overshadowing real sporting achievements. Green's defensive prowess is somewhat overshadowed by his technical falls and suspensions. Reese's combative demeanor could draw attention away from her remarkable abilities to score and rebound. Ree purposefully attempts to be the antagonist to Clark's hero because controversy sells, and she uses the competition between the two to boost her visibility and marketability by taking advantage of the enormous amount of attention Clark receives. As Patrick explains in his description of the power dynamic,
Angel Reese always comes off as the victim. And she's leaning into being, the bad guy. Here she is post-game.
For inside, I think we were playing really hard. I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle.
All right, special whistle. She's referring to Kate.
When Time magazine featured Caitlin Clark on their cover, a moment that should have been celebrated throughout women's basketball instead became the perfect evidence for Patrick's jealousy theory. When Clark landed that prestigious spotlight, the reaction from certain corners of the basketball world proved exactly what Patrick had been saying all along. Instead of a universal celebration for this milestone achievement, a different question immediately surfaced. Where's Angel Reese? This reaction became Patrick's watershed evidence. And if these calculated moves weren't enough, the next piece of evidence left no room for doubt.